We got the story from Daily Mail. Instagram censors evolutionary biologist for posting a chart from transgender study by prominent science journal that showed biological men are stronger than biological women in a range of Olympic sports. Evolutionary biologist Colin Wright had one of his Instagram posts removed for hate speech and claims he was unable to appeal his review. Now, for those that aren't familiar, Colin's actually been on this show.
Yes.
And he didn't post any hate speech. He posted science.
Yep.
So he basically was disparaging Fauci. That explained. Wait, no.
Not
Wait,
even
hold
Fauci.
on. I'm sorry. Instagram is disparaging Fauci because Fauci is science.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's how it works. I'm told.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So Instagram hates science. All right. Colin Wright tweeted, Instagram took down one of my posts for violating their rules on hate speech. What was the thing I posted? A figure from Fond of Beatles and TL Exercises peer-reviewed paper showing male advantage in certain sports activity. They said, avoid losing access to your account in the future. This shows the chart. They said the chart was taken from a study published in Medicine and Sports and Exercise, which tested if the International Olympic Committee's guidelines for transgender athletes eliminated the performance advantage male athletes' bodies give them naturally. And as we can see, there is absolutely, according to the study, a male advantage. Although I'm not here to talk necessarily about the study, just the censorship. This is it's crazy. Okay. Yeah. They claim all the science agrees, the experts agree, and then they just eliminate anybody from social media who doesn't. So you've got these stories about vaccine mandates, and they're like 97% of our workforce is vaccinated. Yeah, because you fired, the other how many percentage of them? So if you have 100 people working at your company and 60 of them get vaccinated, and then you fire a handful, and you're like, see, let's say only 40 were not vaccinated, so you're 60-40. Then they fire the 40 people, and they say we're 100% vaccinated. That's what's happening. They I don't know. I just don't even know what to say about this anymore.
Are we not allowed to talk about the content of that study?
Probably not. We risk getting cut
Probably
off
not, but
by
we
doing
are.
so.
We are.
Because this is insane. Look,
that is truly insane. That you can't just say that a dude is stronger than a woman.
Well, that's a generalization, not always, because some women are stronger than men. So, but
no
the strongest human.
No one said that, Ian. That's postmodernist talk.
Well, this is the point.
We're talking about in general, and the science shows it. There is a very distinct difference.
If you're talking about the extremes, the strongest humans tend to be men.
Yes. Are exclusively.
It's not 100% every time,
yes,
every way, all the time. You might
wrong.
have some aberrational human that happens to be a female.
Stronger than the strongest
You might.
man?
The point is
Ian,
you might.
You've not actually looked at the bell curve research data on this stuff.
I'm just saying it's not that it can never happen. That's the point.
No,
so when you look at grip strength, for instance.
Oh, here we go. We're going to get videos made about this.
Absolutely.
People always do response videos whenever we talk about grip strength.
Why is that?
I don't know, because they think it's so.
It's like a foot fetish.
Weird.
There's a scientific study we went over on the
fetish.
show, and look, I'm gonna stress this. Like, this is not meant to be disrespectful towards anybody. We're just trying to talk about science here, and if we get censored, so be it. The strongest, the highest strength for grip strength among women is around the average for a man. In the bell curve for jumping height and distance, the highest end of the bell curve for men has no women anywhere near it. So when it comes to the strongest jumping strength or grip strength, it is exclusively, like, the top percentile is male. Now, there are some high bell curve women as well who get very close to the top, but it is almost entirely. I mean, you look at look at the NBA. These guys are all 6, 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
How many people on the planet are 7 feet tall? It's not that many. And that means if there was a funny post I saw that said if you're over 7 feet tall, you have a 13% chance of being in the NBA. No, it's for real. Because even if you're not that good, the height advantage is sought after for the NBA. So this means exclusively people. I will say, it's not exclusive for the NBA. Muggsy Bogues, amazing, showing you that strength and perseverance and talent really does matter.
A 42-inch vertical really helps with that as well, right?
Dude was amazing.
He was amazing. He was Spud Webb as well, too, right? Yeah. So this is just part of the whole trend of destroying masculinity and destroying the idea of what a man is. And you just can't have science saying that men are stronger, so we have to eliminate that and suppress that.
I think historiologically, men were we've just developed, men have developed the snap strength power because they had to run and hunt and
No,
chase and
they
kill.
ran and hunted because they were bigger and stronger,
Yes.
bro.
And
it's not like playing basketball
the women,
makes you tall.
I think it comes from the women
he's
staying home to protect the
Well,
child.
there's,
We're both right.
Yeah. Look, it wasn't like there were two completely gender neutral humans that one started hunting and then became bigger, or one
No,
was
right.
and one wasn't bigger because it was hunting.
Right.
Natural selection.
Yes.
Selected for those who are expendable.
Right.
Men were
There's
expendable.
this really cool. There's this really one last thing on this. There's this meme that's been going around in the men's community and fitness community forever. It's like there's an image of a long distance runner and an image of a sprinter. And people always use that to be like, this is why long distance running is bad for you, and this is why you should do sprinting. And people use that as a way to say that like sprinting is going to make you strong and powerful, and long distance running is going to make you weak and frail. Actually, it's just that those body types are the ones that are most successful in those individual sports. The people who, the people who use that image to be like sprinting makes you powerful are the ones that would also say that playing basketball makes you tall. It just is not logic, guys.
I would slightly disagree with you on your
Of course you would.
on your previous statement when you said this is an attack on males. I think that this is an attack on women because this predominantly affects women. And if you look at what's been happening socially, I think masculine men have been predominantly widely conquered already. And there still are a lot of outliers when it comes to women standing up for the family unit, standing up for femininity, standing up for their true kind of energetic power that they have within themselves. Males, I think, have that completely wiped out in certain contexts. But when you look at this policy and this kind of larger cultural shift, I think this is a directed, targeted attack against femininity and women. This is the kind of conflict that we're seeing unfold right now.
I want to add too, but the grip strength thing. I actually saw another really interesting study that said grip strength correlating with how much with your heart, heart strength and likelihood of like a heart attack or something.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently as your heart weakens, your grip strength diminishes.
There's
And
a
so
there's
they
a
can actually
vein
track it.
here, I think, that goes directly to your heart on your hand. It's part of why they put rings on that finger. There's like a vein.
I have heard that. I'm
You
not
know
sure
what?
if
I
that's
have this
true.
crazy theory that all of your veins are connected to your heart.
I think
No
they
way,
are.
dude.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
That's a crazy theory of
Jack
mine.
and your intelligence.
Sorry, dude.
I want to point out about if you had an ancient tribe of 20 men and 20 women, and then 5 of the men died, you're still going to be able to produce 20 children per year.
We've talked about this in Fallout, the Fallout story. You're familiar with Fallout, I imagine, right? The video game series.
Oh,
There's for those that are not familiar. No, this is good because people have basically this is a fiction where humans have written about these ideas. Fallout, post-apocalyptic wasteland. The government builds a bunch of underground bunkers called vaults. One of the vaults was called Vault 69, where it was, I think it was 99 women and 1 man. And then there was another vault called, I think it was Vault 68, where it was 99 men and 1
Oh,
woman.
that's not going to work.
And so they,
At the end of the day, there was 1 man left.
they write about this because the idea is if you have 100 men and 100 women and 99 men die, your civilization is fine.
Yep.
I mean, it's hurt. It's your culture, your tribe, whatever is hurt, but it will survive because you can have 99 babies in 9 months.
And basically, the point of this is
maybe in
historically
9 months in a week.
men were genetically like more disposable. They built
a
up
little
these
bit more than a week. He
strong,
needs a rest period.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
like bodies
Get a
that could
break.
handle like trauma in short term, and they would go and do dangerous things and get killed off. But it was okay because as long as you still had those 20 women, you could produce 20 children per year. 5 of the women died. You can only produce 15 children per year, and that's
That's
devastating.
why you need to have big, strong, scary men to defend the women from big, strong, scary things.
This is
Like
where gender roles
bears
came
and-
from.
Yes.
This is it's very, very
Utilitarian.
it's just men were expendable, and nature selected for the men who are more likely to survive, and the men who are more likely to survive were stronger
We're
and
in
taller
a different
and faster.
world now where we don't have to fight bears anymore. So it's like I think the consciousness is shifting and people
That
are
is-
starting to think of it differently.
that
But
is
it's
incorrect.
we're still genetically from what we were.
We still have to fight bears. We just had a bear attack here.
But we have guns now.
Right. What we have done is dramatically reduce the threat to
The need
to
for
humans.
muscle.
And so now what's happening, I think, is a natural consequence of this is that nature is now selecting outside of the parameters of expendability or strength. Now,
Well, how does that happen? Women are the ones that select. Women are the ones that select for strength and power and
perhaps
masculinity.
the issue was The reason why these men didn't procreate was because they were weaker and they would die when they tried to fight a wolf or a bear.
Yeah.
And the stronger men survived and had the kids.
Right.
Now, perhaps women make selections based on a large variety of factors, which doesn't include pure strength.
Kill the bear, come back to the village, get all
Have
the
kids.
brides.
Now there's no real bear fight for most people in cities, so it's
But psychologically there is, right?
go to a bar, get drunk, have kids.
Yeah. Psychologically though, there is still the need. There is still the need to be a protector, right?
I agree.
And I think that's the more meta element of this is protect and provide versus nurture and care. And I don't know that those elements are gone. Right.
Women seem to enjoy, this is a very big generalization, guys that can fix things now, like fix broken pipes. I hear a lot, like I want a man that can go out there with a chainsaw and cut down a tree, but you do need muscle for that. It helps to be really strong. You can carry branches and break things that are...
The more that we automate hard labor, the more weaker men will survive to
but those are
procreate.
weaker in physicality.
Exactly.
But you still have
Not
to be
mentally.
stronger mentally, and you still have to protect and provide. So it's slightly modified, but protect and provide is still a thing.
But it's more about getting money. Being funny now is a thing. Like
It's different. It's very
So
different.
we're all doomed
protecting,
here.
listen. Protecting
Except
and
for you,
providing is
Jim.
very different. So you take a look at what's going on with male feminists. What does protect mean? They're going to defend the woman and all of her political opinions.
Right.
And so they become male feminists. And then provide, what does that mean? They're going to go work any job where they can stand
I
and move
can't
boxes
really-
and get paid.
And
I
those
can't
are the
really-
biggest creepers and predators out there, according to some statistics, according to some people's personal opinions. But also, dating apps have had a huge effect on a lot of the kind of social interactions we have, where the top 1% of males bag a lot of the women, and the okay guy and the average guy are left holding the bag with not many options for themselves. When women get hit up, no matter what kind of scale there are on the 0 to 10 scale, they get thousands of messages no matter what. So that also has a huge effect on socially what's happening right now. And overall, there's been less marriages, less relationships, less people making kids in the Western world. And I think those consequences and those effects, especially when you look at what's happening in China, when they're trying to prioritize masculine men, they're trying to prioritize families, they're trying to prioritize
nationalism and mythology and heroes.
This is a completely different approach, and throughout the generations, we're going to see the consequences of those two different approaches, and it's not going to be good for the United States.
It's going to be bad.
This is really interesting because I wonder, we talk about the fall of ancient Rome, and I'm wondering if something happens with, I guess you would call it behavioral sync, where if a society becomes well protected, well fed, well established, but can only grow so fast within the confines of that, does it lead to behavioral sync?
That was Ian. Yeah.
Ian, what are you doing?
Did I show up on camera? What is this?
You're crawling around on the
Magic,
ground
sorcery?
there underneath the tail.
I
I got
sorry,
confused
back.
there.
Female mate selection definitely has an impact on the overall, sort of statistical distribution of male attributes and strength and power and all these things. And I'm very sympathetic to this argument about dating apps. As a tall, handsome, smart, successful guy, I certainly saw the other side of that.
Don't
perspective.
criticize yourself that
of
much.
that
Jack.
perspective.
And modest also.
Don't be that modest.
But
Thank you,
I
Ian.
will point out though that those trends were actually in place long before the apps came along. The declining fertility rate, decline in marriage rates, increase in marriage age, etc. were well in place before those apps came about. It has exacerbated it, and of course, as someone we're talking about the way Twitter and YouTube and algorithms change and shape the dialogue and our politics and what we think about each other. Of course, the same kind of algorithms are at work in these dating apps and are affecting the dating and mating markets. And frankly, it was my analysis and exploration into that phenomenon, which has gotten me to where I am now, 10 years later after my divorce in 2009, pulling on the same threads, trying to figure this stuff out. And here we are talking about these big meta issues.